Hey guys, Bella here with Coldwell Banker Pinnacle Properties. In this video, I'm going to be going over tax appraisals and how it's relevant in the sale of your home, and basically what kind of valuation it is and how it's not relevant as well. So the tax appraisal is basically the assessed value of your property that you're paying taxes on, and it changes every year. So every year you get a little card in the mail saying that this is your tax appraisal value, and of course you get your property taxes. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to research this and how homes are selling in comparison to the tax values. So this is a free website, deltacomputersystems.com. You can see it up here. So basically you can look up the property tax value of any house in the Shoals area. So just go to online searches, property taxes, car tags, and you can see that I primarily look up Colbert and Lauderdale County tax records. So if we just go into Lauderdale County, it'll say real and personal property taxes. So you can click on that. And this is public information, so anybody could look this up either online or at the courthouse. So you could look up someone by name, their address, or the parcel number. Typically, if you wanted to look up your own property value, you could just type in your name and you could find it pretty easily. And if you couldn't find it by that, you could just look up the address. So we're just going to click and do Court Street in Florence and see what we can find. Okay, so it sometimes pulls up. The search is really bad on this for some reason. A lot of times I can't figure out why it searches by those terms. But anyways, here's Portview Towers. So that is, let's see, 10,236. So this is probably just a piece of land. They're really, really confusing, but after you look at a bunch of them, you start learning like how to read them. For instance, like this one, 50 Road. So this is 20,600, so this is probably also a piece of land. Yeah, it says lot 29. So you can also tell that this person does not live there because you can see the address here, and that is different from their address here. So a lot of times there could be an out-of-state owner, so like if you get curious about, say, a house in your neighborhood, you can just look it up and find out whether or not anyone is living there or not. But a lot of times they have renters, so you can't necessarily figure it out. But anyways, let's move on a little bit. So I'm trying to find one that's just a residential thing. So like this is a house, and the appraised value is 93,400, and you can see that this person does not actually live where the house is. They have a different address. But anyways, it tells you the property taxes that are for the latest year. So if you were looking at a house and you wanted to buy it, you might want to find out how much your yearly property taxes are by doing something like this. So, I mean, it's really just good information to have. I think that the more tools that you have in your tool belt, the better, because when you're looking at buying a home, you know, you're buying that and then you're buying $915 in property taxes a year. So just something to think about. So one thing that I was going to tell you guys was that a lot of times these numbers really don't make any sense. They can vary, they can go all over the place. So what I did was I pulled up a list of homes that had sold this week in the Shoals area. I pulled up the price that they sold for, and I wanted to compare it to the tax appraisal price. So this is just my like very nerdy experiment, because I was getting pretty curious about how much does the tax appraisal really matter and how accurate is it in determining the value. So here is a few different houses. These all sold within the last week in the Shoals area, and it is pretty close compared to how much they sell for. This one was sold for $117. The tax appraisal was $114.1, $160 versus $157. But check this out. This third one down, $81,000 was what it sold for, and the tax appraisal was only $38,800. So the point I want to make here is that tax appraisal does not account for things that have been updated inside the house. So like if you did a total kitchen remake or a remodel and then you added a bathroom, the tax appraiser wouldn't know that. They just drive by the neighborhoods. So this is something that is kind of odd to me. And then again, we've got really, really close ones, 149.5 versus 145, 90 versus 82.9, and 170 versus 173. This one's quite a bit different, 1099 versus 799. And then again, we've got a property here that sold for $16,000 cash, and the tax appraisal was $40,120. So a lot of times with the cash, you're getting quite a deal because you're able to pay cash for it and you don't have to finance it. So that could have been one of the reasons, and it could be that the property was in really bad shape. The tax appraisal also goes off the neighborhood. So if you've ever looked at Zillow, Zillow also uses an average and they look at the neighborhood sales. So that's a lot of the times why Zillow prices are really inflated, because they're taking an average of a neighborhood and giving it to all the houses. So here is the last one. I wanted to do one on a more expensive house. This house sold for $520,000 and the tax appraisal was $485,800. So that one sold for quite a bit higher. In most of these scenarios, you're seeing that the house sells pretty much within 10% of the tax appraisal in most scenarios. And those three outliers, I think they all had a pretty good reason for why they were outliers. I would love to do more data like this, but I'm just nerding out on it right now, and I know that you guys probably don't care at all, but other real estate agents might find it interesting, so I'm going to post the video and then see what happens. But that's just something to think about. And tax appraisal has nothing to do with an appraisal from, like, say, your bank. So when you purchase real estate and you get a loan, your lender is going to require that the house gets appraised. So an appraiser is going to go into the house and assess the value of the house. And if the house does not appraise for the amount that the loan is for, then the loan officer will not give you the loan on for that amount. So, like, say we have a loan for $100,000, and my appraiser comes in and they say, well, it's only worth $85,000. Well, you're not going to be able to get a loan for $100,000 on an $85,000 appraised house. So that's just kind of an example of how that is different from this tax appraisal. The tax appraisal number is totally independent from an appraisal by a licensed appraiser. So anyways, hopefully that wasn't too confusing. I just want to give you guys the most information possible. I'm going to be making a lot of video series about purchasing real estate and how to find deals and assessing investment properties, and basically everything that I learn, hopefully you guys will learn. So thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Again, I'm Bella. I work for Coldwell Banker Pinnacle Properties in Florence, and if you need me, you can reach me at 256-335-7529. Thank you.